Okay, so I'd like to welcome you all. This is our first class after midterm, and this is our 9th class in total. Okay, so let's proceed to the midterm question, and then we will analyze what should be the answers and what should not be written in the scripts. So you basically lost some marks for the reasons. Okay, so the reasons you did not get, good marks, or the reasons you get good marks. Okay, so this was your question paper. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, so the first question. Okay, how many of you, first of all, I would like to ask you one question. How many of you answered the third one? How many of you answered the third one? The last one, maybe. None. Here, none. Oh, yes. Okay, one. So it's quite negligible. Okay. Basically, I assume most of you have not basically tried this question. Well, let me say you something. I said this question for you actually as a trick. Okay, so what was the trick? Forget this question. This question is the easiest one, and this is the most significant, most repetitive one that I actually repeated in the classroom. Well, this question will occur, this question will occur. Am I right? Yes. Great. So forget this one. Okay, comparing first one and the last one. Well, the first one is the harder one, and the last one is the easiest one. Well, let me explain to you why. Critically analyze the condition of English in Bangladesh. Well, this one, number one sentence, is wholly an answer which should contain at least 2 pages of your answer. Okay, is it EFL or ESL? Another question. Basically here, number one question, number 2 question. Okay, justify your answer with logical examples. So basically there are 2 questions, 2 10 marks questions. Basically this question, if it is justified, this question should be held as a 20 marks question. But basically I put those 2 questions in one question so that it could get hard. But I did a trick here. I just shortened the length of this question so that you just have that psychological mindset in the examination hall that, well, this could be the easiest one. This is the shortest one. This is the hardest one. That's why I put it in the shortest form. On the other hand, this question is the longest one. Well, let me explain to you. Analyze displacement in language, how the feature distinguishes human language from animal medium of communication. Okay, so the answer is in the question basically. So displacement is a medium which distinguishes human language from animal medium of communication. See, the question itself is the answer. And this is one question only. This one basically one question only, and the answer, if you just have written, or anyone who tried this, well, I found some of you actually have tried this. I think it's 10 to 15%. So those who tried this got good numbers, because this is the easiest question and the answer of this question is in the question itself. Okay, and then one more important thing. They only have to analyze displacement. Only one thing. They have read arbitrariness, cultural transmission, duality, creativity, displacement, everything. Only answer displacement. Well, so there's a question should occur that, so why did you just put that question in a way that it looks hard but it's not? Well, that's for one reason. I want to distinguish among yourself that who was attended in the class, who attended the class properly, and who reviewed the videos from YouTube, and then who basically who have gone through the slides. Well, some of you, Okay, first of all, the first impression of this question, this is the easiest one. This question is quite easy. I have seen some other questions also, some other courses. My question is quite a bit easier. Am I right? Exactly, it is. Well, the three of them, I think many of you, okay, forget this thing. Forget this thing. If these two questions actually occurs and then you are asked to answer those two questions solely, I think 90% of you can answer those two. 90% of you. Okay. So, my question is the easiest one. When I put this question, then I think, then a thought come to my mind that, okay, the question is easier, then how should I put justice to my students? That some of you have regularly came to the class and some of you have not come to the class. Well, some of you have really studied hard, some of you have not studied at all. So, isn't it to be, what shall I say? Isn't it to be injustice for one student who came to the class regularly in this winter morning also, just like you guys, then a guy who has not basically presented in the classes, and then he who presented in the class, for example Roman, and those who have not presented in the class, how could I give them the same marks? But I have to be just, straight on that, on a particular reason, that if you have written well, then I have to give you marks. Okay, so I have to basically plan a trick that, okay, this question should be the last position, then those students who basically listen my voice very carefully, mindful in the classroom and studied hard throughout the whole semester or the whole 2 months. What do we get? So we have to distinguish between those good students, not good, basically those attentive students and those lazy ones. So basically that's why I put these questions in this order. Okay, so these questions are quite a bit easier one. Basically, easiest question I have ever seen, but a tricky one psychologically. As you could know that I do love psychology very much, so that's why I basically tricked in questions. Okay, so why am I telling these to you? Because in the finals, do not rush. Do not rush. Okay? As soon as you got the question paper, do not rush. Just read that question and then hold your horses and then hold your breath for some moment. Then think, what did Sir ask? Why he has chosen these? Which one is the easiest one? Which one is the hardest one? Well, those who have tried this question got average marking because your answers are basically average. Well, critical analyze the condition of English in Bangladesh. Maybe one or two examples, one or two scripts I have got, which I actually said it to you, the constitutional process, the government process and the constitutional process. EFL, ESL is not something that you think. I think Bangladesh is in ESL country. I think Bangladesh is an EFL country. No, no one is asking that. Well, do not laugh, please. 99% of you have done this. So that's why you got an average mark. But those who has done this got really good marks. Because this is a pinpoint question. Oh, come on. Be clever. This is a pinpoint question. Pinpoint question, pinpoint answer, good marks. Who am I to stop your marks? Who am I to give you marks? If you have written well, then you will be obtaining good marks. If you have written average, then your marks will be. That's right. Okay, and this one, basically this one is for the lazy students, those fakibas, because this one thing I have done, I have said you thousands of times, and even if you write on your own, we struggle in speaking in Bangladesh through our early school days. Even if you write, keep it in you, and anyone comes, give it a sign. Okay, so if anyone say that, yes, I think Bangladesh lacks writing skill, Bangladesh lacks listening skill, well, he is not or she is not wrong. He or she is correct. So everyone got good marks from me. So this is for basically, I have to, well, there's a pressure on me that, well, you have to give at least passing marks to the students. So that's why I basically put that strategy. So if I give this question to the question paper, then I do not think 1 or 2 people will fail. If he or she just attended one class or watched one or two videos. In every videos or in every class, I speak. I spoke about that. Am I correct? I spoke about that in every class. Am I wrong? Okay. Which one?
Second.
Okay. Which method is used widely in our country? Well, you know, this one question is basically has one line answer. This question is basically, a longer one, so that might confuse you, but I thought my students are quite mature enough that they will know if the length is longer, if the size is longer, that doesn't mean that the question is hard. Maybe the question is easier, but the size basically is to drive our attention to the other one. One single sentence answer. Which method is used widely in our country? Whoever has written GTM method is used widely in our country, or grammar translation method is widely in our country, or even translation or grammatical rules have been studied in our country. I gave them full marks for that particular segment. Well, there's basically 3 segments, so 3 segments contain full 3 marks. That means 3.5, 3.5 and 3. So in this segment, whoever has written grammar or grammatical rules or GTM or translation or article, preposition or tense even, I gave them good marks. Because this is the easiest one. Come on, this is the easiest one. I have distinguished good students, the best students and the average students with these 2 questions. The second question is basically not for the races. Basically, it's not for something that you can obtain 20 plus marks. This is for basically 10 plus marks. Okay, so this one basically, I studied that question in a psychological order. So basically, I played with your psychology, and basically, you guys have really made me feel down that, come on, you guys are not that much of a mature person. Oh my goodness. I just really didn't believe myself also that why my students are not that kind of a mature person. Come on, I want maturity from you guys. Really, you guys are grown-ups. Come on, you guys are big boys and girls. You guys are really grown-ups. Okay, so let's go to the question part by part. Okay, critically analyze the condition of English in Bangladesh. Okay, is it ESL or ESL? Okay, first of all, 10 marks question, essay pattern, we all know that. Okay, and one thank you to you guys that you guys basically done, at least you guys have tried to do these questions in an essay format. So thanks to you guys. Okay, so is it EFL or ESL? So some of you, those who are comparatively clever, than the others who have started answering the question from this. Is it EFL or ESL? Though the answer is not correct, that many of you have said, I think in Bangladesh this is ESL for this reason. And some of you have said, I think in Bangladesh this is for EFL for this reasons. Well, I think is the wrong concept. Well, you do not think. It is governed by the government. It is proposed by the government. It is imposed by the government. Indeed. Okay. So, those who have started from, even if you have said I think, but started with this, got 70% marks for this, at least 70 to 75% marks. Okay, and then you have said, okay, Bangladesh condition, it is ESL because we do blah blah blah, this thing. Okay, good. Say 6.5 or 7 or 7.5, great. Or you have said, okay, it is not ESL because government has not said that. Then, I mean, I cut your marks. 1 week ago. So as far as I remember, so I'm just calling that. Okay. So then you have said, okay, it's not EFL or ESL that varies the marks. Okay. Most important thing, let me be very clear to you. If you have written ESL, if you have written EFL, that does not do anything with the marks obtained. It could be you have written EFL and she has written ESL, she got good marks. You have written ESL, she has written EFL, she got better marks than you. It could be. Basically, the marks is in your logic and your justification. That's why I have written justify. Okay? Okay, some of you, I think...
if I support both things?
Oh, well, yes, most important thing. Some of you have written in the last, well, and I should say one thing, one important thing. You guys have done mischievous things at the examination hall. I found out some of the scripts are actually the copy. Come on, who has done that? Who has done that? Okay, I just took some of the person's name. Okay, some of you have done the copy thing. That means, just suppose Ria and Roman sat on the exam center side by side, and then both of them obtained the same number. Both of them tried the same question. Both of them ends with same results. Come on. Okay, let me done this on the record class, then I will ask you these things. We should not record it now. Okay, good. Okay, so, and both. If you have supported both, there's nothing to do with your number. Great. Yes, it could be, oh well, yes, I found some of the papers. It could be ESL, it could be EFL. We do not know it now. Or there's no clear declaration. Is it EFL or ESL? Good, no problem. But that doesn't mean that you got high marks for that opinion. No, you will get your opinion for your justification, for your proper maintenance of your paper, exam copy, sorry. Okay, so, one or two scripts. I do not remember whether it's from this class or weekend batch. One or two scripts have written, and obviously they have written maybe by looking at someone's copy, maybe, I do not know, because I'm telling that exact same copies. Okay, no problem on that. We'll be talking about that off the record. So some of you, one or two copies have written in the Constitution. They basically put that constitutional thing under the light. Okay, well, that's what I want, and I gave them basically 9 maybe. 9 or 8.5 or 9. But that's overmarking, to be very obvious, because in a 10 marks question, highest mark should be 8, or even higher than highest, 8.5. But I basically, one important thing, your marks are basically comparative marks. If you have got 7, that doesn't mean you deserve 7, maybe you deserve 5 or 6, but many of you have done, basically many of you have not done that basic thing also. So I have to give them grace marks. In order to give them 0, I gave them 5. So in order to give you 5, I gave you 7. So basically your marks, all of your marks are comparative. If you got 21, that doesn't mean you deserve 21. Maybe it's 18 or 17, but Those who got 18 or 17, they do not deserve it also. They deserve 13 or 14. As this is our first course altogether, and the questions are easier, I remain justified in a position that I should not discriminate for markings. I should not, what can I say? I should not be a zalim. I should not be a zalim. So I have to give some marks to all of you. Okay, so what is your English Bangladesh? EFL or ESL? Do whatever you want, but justify your answer. That was the basic question. Your marks do not carry anything with if you supported ESL or EFL or both. No problem on that. Basically, your marks are the reflection of justification you have made on the script. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, so number 2, the easiest one. Why do you struggle speaking English even after learning English throughout our early school days? Well, this is a question you all answered. Those even who has not studied anything and knows nothing, even which I call white paper, shada khata, white paper. Well, those who have submitted white paper, even they also tried this one. Even if he or she do not know that, he or she does not know that, still he or she has tried that. Even if he or she has to look around to the others' copies, which is basically cheating. Okay, so we struggle with English even after learning through our early school days. And which method is used widely in our country? GTM, grammar translation method, grammatical rules, article, preposition, whichever you have written, I give the number. But please remember one thing. In this midterm examinations, I gave you the grace marking and I gave you the numbers according to the others' performance. Okay, comparative numbers, which I may call. But please, in the finals, I will do exact marking. Please remember that. If you have written here, grammar method, translation method, article, preposition, I gave you the numbers, but in the in the finals, you have to write grammar translation method is used widely in our country. Am I correct? Okay, that means you have to be exact in your answers. Right? Okay. So what are the limitations of our country? Well, in the limitations, those who have really done well has written the lack of classrooms, the poverty, the economic instability, the child labor, lack of experienced teachers, lack of monetization, then lack of schools, lack of colleges. Many things you have done. Well, this is the question basically. You need not to study even. You can make it up on your own in the examination hall. Huh? This one is the easiest one. Okay, limitations of one. And proper examples, yes. Many of you, basically most of you have given proper examples. So, in this question, everyone got 6 and above. 6 the lowest, maybe. Okay, analyze displacement in the language. The trickiest one. This is the shortest one. This is the easiest one and easy to grab marks. Well, in the examination, I do suggest one thing to all of my students, that if you are a good student or a bad student, that does not mean anything to the examination hall. In order to do well in the exam, you have to be clever. Even if you are not a good student, you can achieve good grades. You can achieve good marks if you just use your cognition, use your brain. Okay. So displacement in language. Analyze displacement in language. Displacement is something that we can talk about which is not in front of our eyes. One sentence answer and correct. Quite correct. You do not have to write many more things. This is the pinpoint question. Those who have tried this, I really want to clap for them because they have chosen the right thing. Okay. Do not disappoint. Come on. It's displacement maybe. It seems disappointment. It seems disappointment maybe for you guys. Okay. Oh, one more important thing. Those who have tried this one have done good in the other questions also, because this is the shortest one. So the time consumed quite less. This consumed quite less time. But this one consumed a lot of time. A lot of time. This is really a big question. Yes, you can answer it, but you have to write for at least half an hour. Huh? Yes, indeed. In this question, you have to write for half an hour, but in this question, I think 10 to 15 minutes would be much more effective. Okay, how this feature distinguishes human language from animal medium of communication? Well, the answer is the question. The question is the answer. Okay, justify the answer with appropriate examples. 2 examples is needed: Confucius and the white polar bear, or any other thing. Well. Oh, I do not remember whether it's from this class or from the weekend batch. Maybe from the weekend batch. They have written displacement, whole another thing. Maybe they have not studied it, then they do not, they were confused. Well, is it EFL or ESL? Well, if you are not present in the class, you do not know, there is no one answer. Huh? There could be any answer, but if you are not present in the class, then you think, hey, is it EFL or ESL? If I say ESL, then the answer is EFL, then my answer would be the 0. My answer would be cut. They thought in that way, so they skipped the first one. But the first one is not that case. So why does that happen? Because you have not attended the class. Yes, many of the students have done that. So they skipped first one. Second one is the easiest one. Everyone has done that. And the third one. But they think displacement means distance. Displacement basically means distance. But they mean displacement means whole another thing. Fracture. They means displaced. We say, well, my hand is dislocated, displaced. They thought in this way. They thought displacement means fracture. Fracture means fragmented sentence. That means displacement means, if anyone say a cat is eating, well, displacement means a eating cat. Eating cat is. So displacement means the placement of sentence, the placement of words in a sentence. Displacement means the placement of these words in a sentence is not correct. I have to give them at least 1 or 2 marks. Oh my goodness. Well, what should I do? What should I do? Displacement is anything but this one. Anything but this one. This one is incorrect. Am I correct? This one is incorrect. Huh? Oh, you guys have done that. Huh? You guys have done that? So why do not you recall that this is not displacement? Come on, is this displacement?
No.
Great. Okay, so these 3 questions have done. Oh, one more important thing. Some of you have done one silly mistake. I mean, it's not a silly mistake, it's your preference or it's your choice, that you have done short questions first, long questions at the end. Well, that basically that basically is not a right approach to the examiner, because examiner wants you to write synchronizingly. Well, you could lose 1 or 2 marks or half marks in each questions for doing that. Please remember one thing: the questions in the question paper in an order, okay? So you have to write in the order in order to gain highest marks. Those who have answered short questions first may suffer from 1 or 2 marks. May. Okay? Because this is the synchronization. Yeah, that's right. This is the synchronization. This is the synchronized question. So please remember this for your finals. Come on. Remember this for your finals. The way question asks the answer, the way synchronizingly asks the question, you have to answer in the same way. So this is the first question. If you skip that, you have to write this one first. Not you skip that, then you write that, then you write this. No. Okay? Do not jumble those out. Am I clear? Okay, then the short questions. Let's go to the short question. Okay. Second language, okay, mother language, well, some of you, well, I do not know if you guys were there or the weekend guys. Some of you have written mother language means mother tongue or anything, but not in a linguistic purpose, but in general. Well, I gave them marks also. I did not cut. Okay. Then second language. Second language is the second language which one can gain from apart from the first language. That's the answer. And I basically wanted some examples in here. Well, but it's not written. It's written in the white ink. That means it is invisible. But some of you are very clever. Some of you are clever enough to understand that invisible ink. Then second language, they have explained that. Then they gave examples. They got 4, 3.5 to 4, and the other who basically short notes have written the short notes. They have done 3.5, not more than that. 60% marks, 60 to 65 or 70% marks. But those who have gave the example, yes, many of you gave the example, then they got 4 or 3.5. Okay, so that's the end of our question paper. Well, hey, how many minutes have this video gone?
31 minutes.
31 minutes? Okay, yes, we should stop that and then we could talk the real session.